These are 4 Carson City Morgan dollars. One of these is an 1883 cc. 3 are 1884 cc's. In terms of mintage and mint state population, those dates are essentially interchangeable. That's exactly why I submitted all 4 together. This wasn't about chasing a better date. It was a controlled experiment using what is essentially the same coin in different states of surface preservation to see how CACG applies the standards. I'm starting with the details coin intentionally, because once you understand why it was graded details, the rest of this video makes a lot more sense. This coin is uncirculated. There is no circulation wear, but the surfaces were cleaned, and that's what caused the details grade designation. Cleaning doesn't mean that the coin was circulated. It just means that the originality of the surface was compromised. In a controlled comparison like this is the first variable you remove first: surface originality. Now, let's take a look at what changes when that surface originality is preserved. This is also an 1884 Carson City, and it's also a mint state. But here, the surfaces are original. If we head over to the scope, you'll see that there is much heavier contact. We have marks all through the fields, all through the cheek and face, throughout the devices. Some of them are a little bit more significant than others, but they are plentiful. The reverse, much better condition, but this coin is definitely limited in grade by the number and severity and the placement of those various abrasions. So because of that heavier contact, that's why this one lands at mint state 61. But CACG is clear. The originality of the surface comes first. So that's the same date, same mint, original surface is restored, and now it's the contact marks that define the grade once we know that surface is original. Now this coin graded mint state 63. Not because it's an 1883, but because the balance and placement of the abrasions improves significantly. We have fewer distractions, better luster continuity, and original surfaces working together. Now, we do have many abrasions, even on the face, some of which I would consider a little bit more significant. But abrasions does not mean that it's not a mint state coin. And in this case, it's pretty clear that even though some of these are a little more significant, overall, they did not detract from the overall eye appeal and the luster and quality of the surface of that coin, in the opinion of CACG. And similarly on the reverse, we've got a little bit of, I don't know if it's toning or what, but those surfaces are original, and they had no problems with designating that a mint state 63. So when you've got the whole combination of original surfaces and fewer bag marks and abrasions and better placement of those bag marks and abrasions, you end up at a mint state 63. And I can definitely justify that grade. Now, this final coin is also a mint state 63, but it's also an 1884 Carson City. So compared to the mint state 61, this one has significantly fewer marks and abrasions in the focal areas, which means it's less distracting to the eye appeal. The strike is definitely there. There are no signs of wear or circulation. compared to the mint state 63 for 1883, the balance is competitive. You've got a few dings on the reverse. Overall, however, it is the obverse that is the limiter in this grade. So we ended up with one uncirculated but cleaned 1884, came back as details. We have one 1884, came back straight grade, mint state 61. We have an 1883 that came back straight grade 63, and one 1884 that came back mint state 63. The dates didn't decide these grades. It was the condition of the surfaces that did. That's not just a good result, it's a useful one.